My personal research about Dr. Sebi herbs are as follows. Dr. Sebi Usha is a well-known, notable, respected, and knowledgeable herbalist as well as biochemist who's been on the scene for many years, a few decades to be exact. Personally, I've never heard anyone say anything negative about the efficacy of Dr. Sebi's herbs. I've come across people over the years who were supporters of Dr. Sebi and patronized his business, and for the most part, received uh, great outcomes using his products. I've heard from people who have so called incurable diseases, along with your regular degenerative diseases, who use the herbs and met with great results. And that's always positive to hear, especially when you're just pro herbs. I don't really care about the herbalist or the company per se, even though it is very important because of ethics, morals, and other things. But the most important thing for me is that people understand that there is an alternative to the allopathic pharmaceutical drugs, which are the herbs. So I am pro herbs first and foremost. So anytime I hear about people taking herbs, regardless of where those herbs come from, it makes me feel good because it lets people know that, again, there is an alternative to drugs and those alternatives are effective. See, that's very key. See, people want what is effective. So, when I run across people who have positive things to say about Dr. Sebi's herbs in the way of efficacy, that made me feel good because it was like a victory for herbs, a victory for the plants. And Dr. Sebi, like myself, is pro herbs. So as far as the efficacy of the man's herbs, never heard anything negative. I heard a few people say that they were taking the herbs and really did notice an effect or the effect was minimal. But I think that's across the board with anybody herbs, okay? And in cases like that, it's not necessarily the herbs. A lot of time it's the people not taking the herbs correctly, or taking the herbs, but still consuming the same diet, an insalubrious diet, or they're just not doing things right, But in most cases, what you hear is positive. And again, in the case of Dr. Sebi Usha, what I heard was positive. Now, some things that one could consider negative pertaining to Dr. Sebi's herbs are the prices. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. That's one thing across the board I have heard um, from the overwhelming majority of people about Dr. Sebi herbs. Prices, they're just too high. And that's a negative. That's a negative for Sebi in that respect, especially with the masses of the people. Now, there are people out there who said they don't care how expensive or how much the herbs cost, they're going to buy them because they work. And I like people with that type of attitude. That's a beautiful attitude. That's an attitude that I myself embrace. It doesn't matter how much a herb costs. If you're getting results, then you purchase it. Okay. But a not so good thing for Dr. Sebi is other companies out there selling herbs that can pretty much do the same job as his herbs. No one has a monopoly on what a particular herb or herbal formulation can do. Now, the formulation may comprise different ingredients, maybe trademarked, etc. But no one herbalist or herbal company has a monopoly on healing, especially so-called incurable diseases. So Dr. Sebi is not the only person on planet Earth who can help people to naturally heal from AIDS and sickle cell and all the other diseases that Sebi is known for healing. Sebi himself liked to use the word cure, and that has gotten Sebi in hot water in the past. But at the same time, it's also helped to catapult Sebi, you know, up that natural healer ladder, if you will, because he is known for that New York Supreme Court case whereby he was arrested and they attempted to prosecute him, and he beat that case because, according to the information about that case, people came forth and they served as living testimony that they overcame so-called incurable diseases, which was to Dr. Sebi's credit. And fortunately, the brother beat the rap against that case there brought against him in the state of New York. And that's positive too. That's very positive too. It's nothing like having people to come and serve as testimony. And some people say, well, Djehuty, how come we didn't hear a lot about that case? Well, I mean, come on, people. I mean, do you really think the media wants you to hear about, an individual naturally healing people from so-called incurable diseases? I get that all the time. Sebi went to court and he came out victorious, man. He came out victorious, against those claims brought against him, by the state of New York, the medical authorities, and I think a lot of people, should know about that. Well, I do too. But politics are involved. Dr. Sebi's a threat in that respect, you see. And so if Sebi wants to use the word cure, then he's worked for it. I could use the word cure as well too, but I understand the politics. And, my form of healing is deeper than just herbs, physical herbs, something sold to you out of a bottle. It's healing here. And so cure being a political term and actually being a patented term, even though they won't tell you that it's patented. And the they I'm talking about is the United States government, the FDA. They won't tell you that a lot of these, terms are actually trademarked terms. I said patented, but patented deals with ingredients. The correct term should have been trademarked because we're dealing with words, and you can trademark a word. Okay, you can trademark a word, but you can't trademark a recipe. So a lot of these terms, such as cure, are actually trademarked by the government, and that's why a lot of people get in trouble for using those terms. Now, I'm not a fight against those terms, but these days I just work smarter. You know, if it's their term, then I respect property rights. Y'all can keep the term cure. I'm gonna use the term healing. See, I always go in the different direction of the government. See, the government, I got a letter from the government. That sounds like Chuck D there, huh? Chuck D from Public Enemy. No, but I got a letter from the government when I was with the Djehuty back in 2006. And that letter was talking about all the words that were illegal to use. And in dealing with the FDA, I learned a lot. I learned that the FDA focuses on negative terms like herpes, diabetes, cancer, and Sebi has learned to go toe to toe with them, so he too uses those terms. He'll say, "I, Dr. Sebi, can cure AIDS. I, Dr. Sebi, can cure diabetes." So he's in that jurisdiction there. There's a certain energy. And it's good for business because a lot of people can relate to those terms. Those terms, I call those terms code words. So when people hear Dr. Sebi and he's talking about curing diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, the things that a lot of people have, they're going to tune into that man because disease names are actually code words for people. When you're making a radio commercial, I used to make radio commercials back in the day. And I knew to use the code word. So when people were driving down the street listening to the radio and my commercial came on and I was talking about genital herpes, AIDS, impotence, infertility, I was using words that I knew that millions of people can identify with. And because they can identify with it, on top of the fact that they're suffering from it, that it would catch their attention. You see, so the FDA knows that, and Sebi also knows that. Now, myself, even though I could use those terms, genital herpes and diabetes and AIDS, and I do use them to get your attention, but when it comes to helping you to eradicate yourself of these diseases, you don't hear me using those diseases. I'd rather focus on healing, and I learned that from the FDA. The FDA regulates, the FDA controls negative terms. So if you say genital herpes, yeah, it'll get someone's attention, but it'll put fear in them. Oh my God, I have genital herpes. I'm diseased. I'm dirty. I'm cursed. So I stay away from those terms. Diabetes. Most people, oh God, diabetes. The doctor said it's incurable. There's a serious programming okay, going on in the minds of a lot of people because, they've been programmed. So that programming is running. That programming is playing like a television program. Okay, it's playing. So a lot of people, they'll respond to hearing it, but they're going to play out something negative in their minds, and they're going to call the number or go to the website because, hey, somebody said they got a product that can cure me. And I just don't operate like that. And I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying I don't operate like that because people are already successfully programmed. So now they're going to call to get a product. They think that their solution is in the form of a product. You take this little product right here. This is my Ormus liquid white powder gold. And I catch a lot of hell about the monoatomic gold. And I'll deal with that in the future as well, too. But I'm just making a point here. So when you start saying that Ormus liquid white powder gold can, cure herpes and diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, you're giving this product too much power because people are going to purchase this product thinking that this product is their salvation for that disease. And see, disease did not come out of a bottle. So the cure or the healing for disease is also not going to come out of a bottle. Now, Djehuty, as a herbalist, how can you say that? Well, I deal with truth. I deal with truth. Now, the herbs have benefit, but I know that herbs can only assist. They can only help you. So you never, ever, 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 ever hear me talking about this product can cure herpes. This product can cure this. No, no, that's too easy. That's too easy. And you didn't get messed up the easy way. You got messed up the hard way, usually being hard-headed, going against nature, being ignorant, being unconscious. That's called the hard way because when you're the opposite of those things, then life is smooth. You're not even dealing with dis-ease because everything is ease. So you will never hear me talk about any product. Let me tell you something. My number one product is the full body detox. And you have never heard me say that it will heal or cure any pathology. What you hear me say is it will open the door to rejuvenation. It will open the door to healing. It does not heal you. It will only open the door. It will actually give you that immediate relief that you're looking for. But relief is not healing. It's not healing. Relief gives you hope that you can be healed if you do the right thing, predicated upon having the right information. So no product, I don't care if Dr.sebi makes it, I don't care if I make it, I don't care where it comes from. No product made by man can heal you because healing is holistic. Healing is holistic. Mind, body, soul. It's not one dimensional. Okay, so you do hear a lot of talk from the good Dr.sebi that he can heal such and such, and these products are major. These products are his products. I'm talking about are major. The intracellular, cleanser and some of the other products, and that's cool. That's his thing, and he's not the only one who does it. In my opinion, it keeps people dependent, and it still keeps them in a state of enslavement. And that's not Dr.sebi's fault. That's the people's fault. Okay, based upon the hook of what that man is saying, they caught up on that hook there. I can help you cure such and such. Well, how do you do that? Boom, take these products here. And other products will help and assist. But let's keep it real. If a person couldn't afford a product, could they still heal from the so-called incurable disease? Now, if you come my way, then of course you're gonna hear that. Well, Djehuty, you know what? I don't even have $5. I can't afford nothing. No problem. No problem, because guess what? You already got a mind. You already got a mind. And guess what? You don't have to pay me for use of your mind. You don't have to pay Sebi. You don't have to pay D Herbs. You don't have to pay Tim Morrow. You don't have to pay Laila O Afra. You don't have to pay nobody for the use of your mind. All healing starts here. Here in the mind. Mental science. You see, so you can never come to me saying, well, I ain't got no money to buy the herbs, so I guess I can't heal. No, you can't come to me with that type of attitude. Because I know that all disease first starts here. It's mental. It's on an energetic level. Therefore, all true healing starts there as well. So, in addition to the other negative things I've heard about Dr.sebi is the website. His website does not have enough information for neophytes coming into health. Whereas other companies out there, and most notably D Herbs, my former company, and the present company I'm associated with, dhealthstore.com, we're known for that information. That information is vital. You know, when you enlighten someone, when you educate someone, when you inform someone, you've just made it easy on yourself because now these people know what to do. And all you got to do is provide a good product. And that's something I learned over the years. So at dhealthstore.com, information is just as important, if not more important, than the products. So I also heard that about Dr.sebi, the website. It is lacking in vital information. So it would behoove the good Dr.sebi to think about putting up information on the website for people. And let me tell you something. If that information is there, people will hang out on your website. And I learned that over the years. You know, and now at dhealthstore.com, we have the articles up. I mean, people hang out on the website and they're reading the information. Information is vital. As a matter of fact, we're in the information age. Information is a product, okay? And I like to look at it as a product that is free of charge. It's a free product, okay? It's a great product because all you got to do is apply the information. If if you believe in it, if you believe what you're reading, if what you're reading makes sense, and you apply it, then you get the results. Okay. Now, in my information, you don't have to purchase a product. I give you the information on the product. I even give you the information on the individual herbs because it's not about my particular formulas. It's about that information. Okay. It's about having access to some, if not all, of the ingredients comprising a particular product. You know, so if you can't get my product and you got access to 5, 6, or 7 of those ingredients of the product, then take those individual ingredients. You know, taking something is better than not taking anything, especially, you know, if you have that mentality where, you know, you need that assistance, that external assistance, especially if it comes from nature. You know, that's understandable. Go ahead and take 5 of the available ingredients because you don't have access to all 17 or all 20 or all 22 ingredients. And I know there's some people out there who think that the more herbs you use, it renders the product ineffective, and that's BS. I wouldn't be who I am and where I am today if that was true. Herbs work better working synergistically with other herbs rather than individually. Okay, now, I'm one of the herbalists that embrace that notion. Okay, as a matter of fact, I can actually say it's a fact. You know, but for the sake of this video, I'll say it's my opinion. I'll keep it subjective rather than objective. So again, the prices. It's just a dagger, you know, just pertaining to the overall image of Dr.sebi, the prices. And I'm talking about the masses because there are people out there, again, like I said, you know, they don't care about the prices. I'm that type of person, you know. However, I know that the people outside of myself are not myself. You know, they're not me and they're not going to do what I would do. They're not going to think like me. So I understand where the people are. You know, now I know because my parents taught me that I was worth all of the money in the world, and I believe that. So, you know, I'm going to spend whatever amount to get a desired result. That's what I'm going to do. But a lot of people are not like that. You know, a lot of people are like, I don't have the money. You know, I don't have the money. Well, you know, they don't have the money to do what's necessary. Now they got the money for weed. They got the money, you know, for cable TV. They can order the, you know, Mayweather fight. You know, they can go to the Laker games, Chicago Bull games. You know, people got money for things that, you know, they really don't need. They may want these things. They got money for the things they want, but they don't have money for the things they need. And a lot of people do need the herbs, predicated where they are mentally. They're in that need state. You know, they don't really understand the power of the mind in healing. So, you know, they're getting away from the drug and they're going to something else that's tangible. They're going from, you know, the pharmaceutical drug to, I guess, as Phil Valentine would say, the herbal drug. And the herbal drug is far better than the pharmaceutical drug, the man-made drug. And by the way, the word herb comes from a word meaning drug. Goes back to the word drogue, D-R-O-G-U-E, drogue. I believe it's an old French word, and it means dried plant. So being technical, the first drug was the herb, a dried plant. Okay, because if your aspirin does not come from a dried plant, then technically it's not a drug, technically speaking. The pharmaceutical industry is powerful, so they took over the term drug and the definition of drug. But if you're being technical, you get into etymology, you will find out that a real drug or the true drug or the first drug or the original drug, it was a plant or herb. So that's pretty much going to do it here. Sebi, the herbs, effective. Never got a complaint from anybody talking about that man's herbs. So if you are taking Dr. Sebi's herbs, hopefully this information just enhances your decision and reasons for taking those herbs. The efficacy it speaks for itself. The herbs are effective. The prices, unfortunately, with the masses, they're just astronomically high. They're just too high. And in all due honesty, I have come across people in the Los Angeles area who, man, some people were even in tears talking about the prices, $500 a month, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 a month, just for like the regimen to keep it going. And I met a young lady. We became friends. Her name was Dana, and she was in tears. She had diabetes, and she was getting great results with the hers. She just couldn't afford. She just couldn't afford to pay over $1,000 a month for the regimen. And we meet a lot of people now at dhealthstore.com. A lot of people who were taking Dr. Sebi's herbs, man, and they switched. They switched and they came to dhealthstore.com. And in all due honesty, they came for the prices. But these people are in luck because they're getting superior herbs. Okay, now I'll talk about dhealthstore.com, the pros and cons in a separate video, just like I'm doing for Vitacos, Vitamin Shop, D Herbs, Nature Sunshine, etc. So I'm going down the list, because my whole thing is you got free will and you got variety. Okay, now I know I'm a trusted individual. I'm a researcher, a health researcher, and a lot of people care about what I have to say. So for my personal research of Dr. Sebi products, they are highly effective. Unfortunately, they are very expensive, very expensive. And I think that's probably like the biggest downside or downfall, if you will, for Dr. Sebi, though, the prices. My philosophy is the law of inverse proportion. You're going to reach more people with cheaper prices. Now, this is not to say, you sell yourself short, but, from a spiritual perspective, you got to understand that wherever you go low, the universe is going to go high. It's going to be balanced out. So, if you did lower your price, no matter, what you're spending to make them, as long as that profit is in there, because of course, as herbalists, we're also businessmen and businesswomen, and we do have to make our profit to stay in business, to be here to serve you. You see, but when you got astronomically priced herbs there, it's I guess someone can make the argument that it's not even about profit. I won't even go into that area there because I just really want to just give you the the information. It's not to hate, but it's just to give people the information, and the people can make up their own determination. Some people are going to purchase, some people are not going to purchase. It's an individual choice. But high prices, especially in this day and age with our economy, especially here in the capital of the matrix, the United States. It's not a good thing. High prices, not a good thing. I mean, look at the department stores. People they're going to Costco now. They're going to the little membership stores now. They're going where you can buy a printer and ink for your printer and DVDs, and then also food. You can get your chicken wings and your bags of rice and your cow snot ice cream. You can get it all together under one roof. And I don't like setups like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like setups like that. I'm old school. I like the department store. You know what I'm saying? I want to go to a place where I can just get clothes and, if I was into, cosmetics and fragrances, what have you. I like department stores. Nordstrom is Nordstrom's, and then Nordstrom did have departments, Montgomery Ward, Sears, JCPenney, they had departments. They had the automotive, and then they had, home furnishing, bathroom, kitchen, etc. But, a place like Costco, great prices, but man, you got this big warehouse, you got refrigerators over here, and you got DVDs, you got clothes, and you got TVs and printers, and then you got food, and that just don't look right to me. Target is even like that now, where you can go and purchase, your stationery, you can purchase video games, kitchen furnishing, bathroom furnishing, but then you can also grocery shop, and that's just, for me, department store is department store, and the market is the market. That's just me, but our world has changed, And now people can go and get things under one roof. And I think the two biggest reasons for that is number one, the places that actually have that type of setup, the prices, they're cheap. They're cheap. Number two is convenient, and it works. Okay, so I'm not one who's pro convenient, but I do understand about the cheapness of saving money. But usually in cases like we're dealing with, I'm talking about right now, Costco and certain other stores, the cheap prices are usually on top of cheap products, stuff that's no good for you. You know, it's like the fast food joints. You know, yeah, people are going to eat at McDonald's because, you know, it's cheap, right? The food is cheap. But cheap food does not necessarily ensure that it's good food or healthy food. So, you know, my philosophy about cheap as far as price is not linear. It cannot be limited to just the price. Oh man, look at that right there. Oh, it's cheap. It only costs this amount of money. Okay. But let's talk about quality now. Okay. So cheap on top of poor quality is a no-go. But if something is cheap and it's superior quality, revolutionary. Revolutionary, like what Frank Lucas did. And you know, I know Djehuty, you always referring to Frank Lucas. Well, because that's what he did, you know. But I guess I should start talking about Sam, what is his name? Walmart. Walton, I'm sorry, Walton, the Walton family who created a Walmart. They went low. They went low, sold more, and they're billionaires now. You know, all the children get $1 billion, over $1 billion per year because they understood the law of inverse proportion. Okay, but the thing about it is, you know, a lot of things that they're selling is just crap, and then some other things that they're selling is just good stuff, and it's just an unbeatable price. So they win because they're selling good stuff and crappy stuff, and they're giving people a choice. You know, so they win. And then also too, the information. Dr.sebi, you got to get the information up on your site, you know. And I guess I can extend saying what I'm about to say. I can extend this pertaining to the information, and that is making yourself more accessible to the people. Because I've also heard that as well too. You know, I had a lot of people come my way because they said, you know, Djehuty, you're accessible. You know, they come into the store in Glendale and I'm there. You know, they can talk to me 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on what I'm doing. And it's like, wow, this is Djehuty, the guy from YouTube, the guy who makes the formulas. You know, wow, he's here. I'm talking to him. And that means a lot to people, and they can pick up on your energy and they can really see what you're about. You know, I don't have any problems in business because, you know, my energy comes through clear on these videos. You know, if you're with me in person, you know, it comes across clear. You can tell, like, okay, this dude he's the real deal. You know, he's not some character faking the funk. You know, he gets on the video and he's this way, and then when the video's off, you know, in quote unquote real life, he's another way. Not the case at all. So I would also suggest that making yourself more accessible to the people, you know. And I understand when you get big, you know, and everybody's after you, you know, and Sebi got that too. And I'm not mad at him, you know, for really not being on the scene, you know, because I know the man's history, and the man he's given the lectures. You know, he's given the lectures in Atlanta, in Los Angeles, New York, you know, so he's done that. And, you know, I mean, he's a giant in the game, so I can understand not being so accessible, you know, because I'm not as accessible as I used to be, you know. And you can't, because people will drain you. You know, people mean well, but people really will drain you, you know. And Sabi is a wealth of knowledge, you know, humorous cat, you know. And so, you know, people can sit up there and ask this man a million something questions, you know, and if he don't say he gotta go, the people are just gonna stay there and they just gonna pull and pull and pull. And then we're just talking about one individual, you know. So imagine if you do that 3 times a day, you're not gonna get anything accomplished, you know. But there is a way to do that. And one of the ways is YouTube, you know, speak to your people, the people who patronize you and keep you in business, keep you living the lifestyle you're living, you know, videos, you know, not just chopped up lectures and things like that, but, you know, talking, you know, to the people and engaging your supporters, you know. So I would suggest that that be taken into consideration, because the negatives of the very high prices and then not being so accessible are easily to remedy, but it's a personal choice. So, Dr.sebi herbs, thumbs up. Prices, down. Information, down. On behalf of dhealthstore.com, I'm Djehuty. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Peace and love.